Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft. Mark Zuckerberg, co-founder of Facebook. Gautam Adani, founder of the Adani Group. Richard Branson, co-founder of the Virgin Group. Do you know what's common among all of them? You might be thinking, yes, they're all among the richest people in the world, and they dominate today's global stage. True. But here's another thing they share, something far more powerful. They all manage to escape a trap that most people today are proudly walking into. A trap that changes the perception of reality so much that despite having access to endless information, no one can arrive at sensible conclusions. They've refused to put themselves or their children into a system that doesn't recognize individual gifts and abilities just because they don't fit on the conveyor belt. In the US alone, more than 500,000 people don't send their children to school. Ironically, most of them are teachers because they know how broken the system is. And then there's you, perhaps sitting in a college right now, rushing to submit assignments, maintaining 90% attendance, memorizing books you don't care about, following every rule, all in the hope that when you graduate, you'll get a good job, buy your parents a big house, a luxury car, get married, send your kids to good schools, and make a lot of money. But what's the reality? You started preparing when you were 18. Now you're 30. In the last 12 years, what have you really achieved? I just kept studying, collecting degrees. I did post-graduation in 3 subjects, completed a B.Ed., qualified CTT, qualified NET. After 15 years of hard work, you finally get your degree, only to realize there's no job waiting for you. You attend interview after interview, but everywhere, you're rejected. People mock you. Relatives stop talking to you. You lock yourself in your room, crying silently, praying desperately for a job. Your self-esteem and confidence slowly crumble. Finally, you get a job, but the salary is too low to save or invest. You take a home loan, then a car loan. Without realizing it, you've tied yourself up from all sides. Now, you live in constant fear. What if I lose my job? How will I pay the EMI? How will I pay my child's school fees? Your dreams fade away. You wake up, go to work, return home. Whether you like your job or not, one day you accept this life as normal. And before you know it, you grow old. You think, maybe I was unlucky. I worked hard, but success never came. But my friend, the truth is something else, something that's been kept hidden from you all your life. In 1806, Napoleon's army fought Prussia. Despite being one of the best armies, Prussia lost. Why? Because during war, Prussian soldiers used their own judgment instead of blindly following orders. Napoleon's army, on the other hand, followed every command without question. After the defeat, Prussian leaders decided this must never happen again. So, they built a system to produce soldiers who would follow orders without thinking for themselves. And the best way? Control the minds that were still young and couldn't distinguish right from wrong. Thus, the Prussian education system was born. 8 years of compulsory schooling from age 5 to 13. Its sole purpose? Not to create thinkers, but obedient followers. From 1760 to 1840, machines began to dominate. Products that once took a month to make by hand could now be made in a day. The problem? Factories needed workers. But most people were busy farming, running small businesses, or working independently. Why would they leave that to become factory laborers? The solution? Adopt the Prussian model of education, but this time not to create obedient soldiers, to create obedient workers. Children were taught just enough to work in factories, but not enough to think for themselves. Creativity was crushed. The goal? Make them believe the only way to earn money was to get a job. In 1830, Lord Macaulay introduced English education in India. His goal was not to enlighten Indians, but to create a class of persons, Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, opinion, morals, and intellect. Slowly they succeeded. Indians began working for the British as clerks, soldiers, and laborers, fully accepting British rules as their duty. It's been over 7 years since independence, but the same system continues. The difference? Now it's sold to us as a status symbol. Parents proudly send their kids to big schools and believe their child's future is secure. But in reality, schools and colleges mold students into job seekers, not independent thinkers. We're taught to aim for one thing: get a job, preferably a government job, even as a peon, but at least it's secure. No one teaches us how to be self-reliant. No one encourages us to become millionaires. Why would they? Independent thinkers don't blindly follow orders. By the time we realize the trap, it's often too late. We're burdened with responsibilities and debts. 65% of India's youth are unemployed. 40 of graduates under 20 don't have a job. And even if you do get a job, salaries are painfully low. In America, said truck drivers earn 10 times more than the average Indian engineer. So, what's the solution? Should we stop going to school or college? Of course not. But we must stop following blindly. We need to ask, who created this system and why? When it was created, the world needed billions of workers. Today, that's not the case. Skills that once took 5 to 6 years in college and lakes of rupees to learn can now be mastered online in months, from people who have actually achieved results, not just from those who teach theory. If you're a parent, yes, send your child to school, but don't worship mark sheets. Give them exposure. Encourage them to explore. Show them that the world is much bigger than maths, physics, and chemistry. If your child gets low marks, maybe they're excelling in another skill that could change their life. We take gap years for GE, NEET, or GATE preparation. But have you ever taken a gap year to understand your true passion? Do you want a stable but average life? Or do you want to achieve something big, earn huge, and live your dreams? The decision is yours. Thank you for watching this documentary till the end. I've worked for days to put it together, and if you found value in it, Please subscribe, like, and share this with as many people as you can, so more people become aware of the reality we're living in. Once again, thank you so much for your time, your love, and your support.